Today's program has been brought to you by Hearst Ranch, the nation's largest single-source supplier of free-range, all-natural, grass-fed, and grass-finished beef. For more information, visit HearstRanch.com. You're listening to Heritage Radio Network, broadcasting live from Bushwick, Brooklyn. If you like this program, visit heritageradionetwork.org for thousands more.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes, finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
An hour. Name that song in one note.
Everlong. Man, Scott Colberg Trio covering Everlong. We'll be playing live today on Snacky Tunes.
Are you our first? I think they're our first jazz band.
This is definitely the first vibraphone.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we had Moon Hooch.
They didn't have a vibraphone.
No, but they were sort of jazzy.
Jazzy, but no vibraphone.
Welcome to Snacky Tunes. I am one half your host, Aaron Bresnitz.
Yeah, and the other half, Greg Bresnitz. Good to be back here. It's been a while.
I think this is our first show we've done together this year.
And this will probably be the last show we do together for another couple months.
Oh, right, because next week we're in LA for Spiritualized.
Yeah. Well, we've got a packed show today.
Packed.
We're going to keep it a little secret and kind of in tune with the guests we have on later. But we're going to kick things off with our Commander-in-Chief. Aaron, you there?
I'm here.
Aaron, how are you?
I'm great, guys. Well, Happy New Year as your first show together.
I know. It's we're alternating. Aaron, where are you right now?
I am in Bed-Stuy.
Oh.
Aaron, for those of you who don't know, why don't you give them a little update on your role on Heritage Radio Network?
Give an update, I'm sorry?
On your role. Tell the lovely people who you are.
Sure. Well, I am the executive director. You know, as many people may or may not know, Heritage Radio Network is a 501c nonprofit, so I oversee the content and the funding, in addition to hosting a weekly show called The Farm Report.
Nice. Wearer of many hats.
Yes, I like hats.
Yeah, you look good in a hat. I've seen you in a hat. You look nice.
Thanks. I do what I can.
Well, one of the reasons why we wanted to have you on is because there's been a lot of changes on Heritage in the last year. We thought it was a good time to inform the listeners about, all the work you've been doing and, the direction that the station is going. So, obviously the nonprofit status is huge, and we had that come a little bit long ago, but now it's moving towards a more news content and thematically organizing the show. So you want to talk about what's been going on and the decision to, the direction that the station is taking?
Yeah, sure. Well, this past October, we kind of launched our foray into news coverage on the network. So we have a great team in the central office putting out kind of daily pieces that you can find on the website. We try to keep them short and fun, somewhere in the 2 to 5 minute range, and really bringing you news on what's happening in the world of food and drink. In a lot of ways, the content really mirrors the diversity that you'll see on all of our weekly programming. So it's food, culture, and history, intersections of music and design, policy. It's a little something different every day. It's a nice mix, so you can get really, in just a couple of minutes, like a flash at the world of food from across any angle that you might have interest in, or some that you might be soon interested in. And
speaking of programming, we've had quite a few new shows since the last time you were on. What are some of your new favorite programs?
We're pretty excited. We've got a couple, I think 4 shows that came on in 2014. Eating Disorders, which happens after you guys. Super fun. It's a great space to tune in if you're a little tired of the kind of precious foodie content. Paul and Spiro really take a humorous approach to digesting what's happening in the world of food and giving people a little bit of grain of salt to go with the kind of preciousness that sometimes gets in the way. And then Animal Instinct is an awesome new show, kind of traversing the world of what's happening with our pets, everything from rodents and reptiles to dogs and horses, looking at different ways that pets interact with the food supply and play roles in our lives. Got Sherry Bayer doing All in the Industry, kind of looking at the back end of what it takes to set up and run successful restaurants. And then on Thursday morning, we hear from Jackie Berger and Allison Crane, and they're bringing us Just Food Stories. They're kind of looking at food justice through the eyes of Just Food, which is a great nonprofit that does a lot of food justice, hunger relief, and advocacy work here in the city. So great stuff all around. It's kind of a nice mix to add to the already strong lineup. So I think we're at 35 weekly shows now, so there's a little something for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, and, that kind of leads into the next thing that, now we have such a diverse roster of shows that we've segmented into different types of themes. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, so one of the things that we wanted to do coming into 2014 is set some goals for ourselves so that at the end of the year we'd be able to look back. You know, we have this amazing kind of network of hosts and guests and listeners, and how do we kind of leverage that stuff towards some common goals. So things that we're looking to focus on in the new year, you know, I don't know if you guys have heard, but chicken just surpassed beef as the most consumed protein in the country. So we're going to be taking a hard look at chicken from an animal welfare perspective, genetics, the kind of gastronomy of it, the way it's kind of exploding in the restaurant scene, which I think is going to be really interesting. It's kind of a way to focus on like one item, but really look at the kind of livestock industry as a whole. Going to continue kind of discussing what's happening in labor. You know, there's a lot of controversy stirred up around the gods of food. That episode, or
no women
that Time Magazine put
for
out.
shame.
You know, kind of women in the workforce. There's been a lot of conversation happening around kind of fast food workers and what is a fair wage. Looking similarly at you know, the way that people are paid all along the food chain. So I think that's going to be super interesting. And then going to be doing some focusing on land. I was really shocked to learn that every minute of every day we lose an acre of farmland in the U.S. You know, you can imagine no one's tearing down strip malls to put up farms. So really thinking creatively about how do we protect that really critical resource, because you know, if there's no land, then there can be no farms, and if there's no farms, there's no food. So those are a couple of the kind of focus areas heading into the new year, and I'm pretty excited to kind of see what we're able to uncover.
So for people who want to get involved and help support the station, become members, what's the easiest way to do that?
We try to make it as easy as possible. There's a big donate button right on the website if you're at www.heritageradionetwork.org, and you know, at the $120 level, we send you one of our tote bags, but of course, any donation of any size is super helpful and really one of the best ways for individuals to support the network. And then, you know, we're always out there looking for interesting partnerships with organizations and groups, and so you can always reach the team by just emailing info@heritageradionetwork.org.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, we cannot thank you enough for steering our ship, being your captain with Patrick and everybody. Always nice to check in with you. Looking forward to catching up in real life soon.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for keeping the great shows coming. Lots of big anniversaries this year. We've got some people coming up on 100 shows, 200 shows. I think you guys are somewhere in the mix there.
We're getting close. I think we're going to come up on 5 years and 200 shows around the same time. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
Sounds like a good time to have a party.
Oh, yeah, so a party.
Yeah, we'll have a party. And our 5th compilation.
All right, thanks for having me on.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
So
Bye-bye.
one of our other guests today is none other than Matt Goldman behind MFG Presents. He, with Chris Doritas, does School Night. It's going to be at Brooklyn Bowl tonight. Great lineup: Fascinator, Sons of an Illustrious Father, Young Yeller, the Cabana Kids, and DJ by Austin Mills with Jason Eldridge.
I think I burned my thumb on that pizza tray.
Oh my! Someone could. I can't get to him, but could you just hug him, please?
It hurts.
All right, let's go.
Well, we want to welcome back Andrea from Brooklyn Brewery. What up?
It's a pleasure to be here, guys.
Welcome back. Good to see you. I mean, how long can you say Happy New Year? Can you get like all the way into September if you haven't seen anybody and be like, "Hey, man,
Yeah,
Happy
it
New Year"?
depends if you haven't seen the person.
I think it's the second, at the end of the second full week of January.
No, I think you get February. I think it's like
Come on.
one day to February.
I'm going to push it. Hey, happy Halloween.
I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna just like get into June and see and be like, "Hey, Happy New Year."
Happy New Year.
Like, what if it was really important to you?
Yeah. Hey, man, when's the last time I saw you? Was it December? Well, then Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Year.
Well, Andrew's here. He's back. First off, congratulations, getting married in September.
Pretty wonderful.
Yeah?
Camp Timbertop's place to be.
Yeah. Are you going to cook at your own wedding?
We are not cooking. We actually found some amazing chefs up in
Okay.
Greeley, Pennsylvania that we'll be working with. So we created the menu and then we are leaving it in their hands. I will not be allowed in the kitchen, I've been told.
Yeah, that's sort of like when DJs DJ their own wedding. It's like, your wife is like,
I mean, are you gonna be able to just like sit back and enjoy it?
Hopefully. I mean, that's why it's a 3-day affair. It's a camp wedding. So that way
Yeah.
we get it all in, and
So-
then Saturday you
so-
can sort of be a blur and not know what's going on.
We won't tell your wife, but are you secretly planning that if like you're not happy on day 3, you're like, I'm fucking getting in there?
Wow.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay. Yeah.
Totally. For the whole animal roasting, I will be involved some degree or another.
Let's just not
so.
talk. Let's just talk about your wedding.
It's kind of similar to a mash tour. I mean, there's a lot of the elements of our tour I
let's
think we're looking for in this wedding.
So-
Let's talk about the mash tour.
Mash tour. So for those, explain to people what they don't know if they have been under a rock, know what Brooklyn Brewery is, and then what the Mash tour is.
So Brooklyn Brewery is probably the 8th largest craft brewery in America. We've been in Williamsburg for 25 years. We are one of the longest existing New York craft breweries, bringing about 25 different amazing, well-balanced, structured beers a year. Our brewmaster, Garrett Oliver, is probably the definitive
G.O.
voice in beer and food pairing. Author
and a
of
handsome devil.
quite a handsome man.
Bon vivant.
Quite a debonair. Yeah, I would say, he is
A Renaissance man.
a Renaissance man.
Justin Chernow says that the best meal he ever has in Brooklyn at any restaurant is Garrett Oliver's house.
Garrett Oliver is quite a chef, and then you can sit by his peated fireplace and drink the best brews around. It's quite an experience to spend an evening at Garrett's home. I'd say my house is probably a close, fourth or fifth.
You have a nice house.
To Garrett. We have a fun apartment. You've come over many times for dinner.
And so, for those who don't know what the MASH is, what is the MASH?
So the MASH is a 12-city tour. This year we're actually taking the MASH international. Last year was our first year. And it's basically a festival that celebrates the arts and culture of these cities that we're in. So what we've noticed, sort of Williamsburg has undergone this cultural renaissance over the last, I'd say, 12, 15 years.
I haven't noticed
anything. Changed just an itty-bitty bit, just a little.
I guess my bodega coffee has gone up a little bit in quality.
A slight notch there. And what we've seen is this transformation in so many cities around the country. So for us, it's really a way to celebrate and really work with a lot of different collaborators in these cities, sort of bringing people together surrounding, good food, good beer, and good people.
I like all those things.
Yeah, they're very good.
So, do you try and bring a little bit of Brooklyn to every event, or is it really just all about highlighting the city?
We have quite a few Brooklyn partners that we work with. We're working with Nuit Blanche, they're projection artists. Last year we worked a lot with you guys. We're also bringing some comedians on tour this year, so we're taking our Brooklyn Haha event. So we'll be opening with local comedians in each city. We bring the guys from Found Footage, who are just hilarious. They have the largest VHS collection in the country.
It's amazing.
Probably not in the world. I mean, so much that the National Archives call them when they need footage. It's pretty wild. So we have a lot of Brooklyn elements that we're bringing with us. I myself and all these others. But really what we're doing is celebrating these sort of local players in each city. So we're working with amazing chefs all over the country. I think last year we worked with 2 or 3 of Food and Wine's top 10 chefs. A lot of the, mentions on Bon Appetit, but just really interesting up-and-comers and established chefs in all these markets. We're working with great farms. One of the really cool things is that a lot of people that we worked with in different cities, like Dinner Lab in New Orleans and Dinner on the Farm in Minneapolis, have actually become full-time partners and are going to be touring the country with us as well as internationally this year. So, I don't know, that to me really speaks to the nature of the MASH. It's building these relationships, it's celebrating the community that's there, but also bringing together different folks who may never have worked together before, whether that's an artist who's doing our menus at one of our Slow Supper events. We're working with a local slow food chapter in each city. All these different sort of elements, whether it's a florist, so we're getting food, music, books, beer, all of these elements, bringing them together. Another really exciting thing this year is we're bringing Steve Hindy on the road with us.
Ooh,
so Steve Hindy is our co-founder of the Brooklyn Brewery, the reason why we're all here. And he just put out a book, Craft Beer Revolution, and it's really telling an insider story of craft beer and the players in it. So it's him interviewing, telling his story, talking about the last really 30 years in American craft beer, and then interviewing, which are, really good friends of his and the founders of a lot of the breweries that we know.
A scandalous tell-all.
It is a scandalous tell-all.
Probably the least scandalous tell-all.
I don't know. There's some moments with Boston Brewing, with Boston Beer, where you see him and, Jim getting face-to-face and different things. So, there's been some candid moments throughout the last 30 years. There's a fun industry, but there's a healthy competition, I would say, and an overall support. I think there is more camaraderie that you get in craft beer from many other industries.
Well, when
sort of this David and Goliath,
because
kind of
there's
feel.
Goliath.
There's
Goliath.
Goliaths, exactly. Incredibly large Goliaths. Sure.
So where does the MASH, what's the first one? What's the first kickoff?
So we kick off in Nashville, March 2nd.
Ooh.
And then right after that, we're in New Orleans. Actually, the end of March, we're in New Orleans. And then Pittsburgh. The best thing to find out any information on the MASH is just brooklynbrewerymash.com. We have a brand new, updated, super snazzy website coming at you, I believe, Tuesday.
What are you doing in Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, we're working again with Justin Severino from Cure.
Great.
Unbelievable chef. Really cool guy. We are figuring out the rest of our programming there. Yeah. So we're figuring out which farm we're going to do Dinner on the Farm on. Another really cool event that we're doing this year is sort of a food salon with Food 52. And it's going to be one of the only kind of private events that we do, and it's bringing together sort of more of the food community. So it's food writers, bloggers, chefs, as well as restaurateurs and different partners of ours in a very curated evening with me and another chef cooking. But no, I'm really excited for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I mean, I'm a Philly native like you guys.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh is a city that I never really spent time in growing up. And I was kind of like, all right, it's one of the cities I wasn't so excited for. Pittsburgh blew my mind. The Strip District there, really cool. Just some interesting up-and-coming neighborhoods, great breweries.
Yeah, we're opening a hotel in East Liberty at the beginning of next year for Ace Hotel.
Awesome.
So yeah, Pittsburgh is pretty great.
But
We'll talk some restaurants too.
And then we have an event with you guys on Tuesday, the next Bar Food Blowout.
Yes,
a
very excited.
Pork Slope with Maharlika and Jeepney.
So great. Went to Jeepney on Friday night. They're awesome and the nicest people ever. So much fun.
Filipinos, man.
Filipino bar food. I can't wait to see what they.
I have the menu somewhere.
Those events are always great.
Yeah.
And
Are you going to come out?
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
I'll make it to all of them.
That's barfoodblowoutfeb.eventbrite.com.
Yeah, or check our Facebooks.
Facebook.
Or Twitters.
Or Twitters. Well, Andrew, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to be here, guys.
Stick around, hang out, eat some pizza.
Absolutely.
And we have Matt Goldman and our surprise guest coming up next.
I will throw some sea salt over my own head. Sprinkle flour to keep Satan off my doorstep. And these are the habits that I can't understand. My rational reflexes stupefy my superstitious contraband. Chinese charms with concave mirrors peel off my sill. Special stones and crystal bones protect me until my mind overcomes the myth of my whispering vehement. I'll never walk on the ladder. Be careful, your mirrors don't shatter. I'll never walk on the ladder. Be careful. I to my copper corner, lucky pennies, turquoise, and fool's gold. I light up my ghost town sage, water glasses, oils, a witch's orb. I'll never itch my palm. Here's to my lucky dog.
You want to come back this way more?
Oh, man.
Packed house.
I mean,
2,
Kinda
4,
saddle
6,
Eric here.
9 dudes?
9 dudes. 9 dudes in a shipping container. Matt, that's going to be, it's pretty diverse sounds, those two bands. That's like the headliner and the second headliner.
Yeah, it's definitely an eclectic mix.
Who does the booking out here?
Out here, it's, Chris Doritas is the curator, and we have Nasir is the name of the fellow who actually books both L.A. and New York from New York.
Really?
Yeah, he kills it. He's very good.
Every week for LA, right?
Every week, yeah, 4 bands in both cities.
I mean, we book 40 bands a year, and that's like
A struggle.
Hey, I make it look like a struggle.
It's Sisyphus every year.
Yeah,
Right.
But that many bands. But I guess also I'm sure it gets people come at him all the time.
Yeah, and we have the benefit of a lot of valuable relationships and work that Chris Doritas has put in over the years, and also It's a showcase that has gained some sort of awareness and notoriety, and so bands can come on and sort of become, it's a stop on a career for some people.
What type of stop?
The stop on the way up.
Okay. Okay. We play school night, and that's where it ends.
Hopefully not the cul-de-sac of a career. But.
Yeah. But no, it's great, and it's all what I love about school night is that it's all discovery. I also like checking out all the early bands too, because you're like generally those kind of are just sitting there creepers on their way, not even a stop. Maybe like they're just rolling into town.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No stories.
No stories. Just new.
Yeah.
And you had Moses Sumney play on your show, who is now like on his way to whatever that
he was
is.
Incredible. Worth all of the buzz. Worth everything. He was incredible.
Yeah, he just did a piece for us as well, and it was just like, okay, like this is something really special. But Matt is also in town not just for this, but you're doing an event on Tuesday night for Fashion Week.
Yeah, we're doing an event with Revolve Clothing. It's a dinner. And as such, there is a food element involved that is of note.
And our secret surprise guests are those food guys. Hey guys, welcome to Snacky Tune. We have Sushi Belly Tower here on Snacky Tunes. We met out in LA in a lobby, and then I came to your dinner, which was awesome. That night, it was on like, what was that, 5th floor?
5th floor rooftop.
Yeah. And the guy, he like he runs all the elevators. It was so loud, and I was like, how does this happen? And
Wait. What? He runs all...
elevator Mike.
Yeah.
Well, like all the elevators in LA?
Like a lot of the contracts downtown, all the high rises, like...
Oh.
Yeah.
He runs like a lot of them, right?
Yeah, because you're like, how is he getting... Because you guys had a loud... It was a 5-piece, right?
5-piece horn.
Yeah. I was like, this is... Yeah. And like, well, if they complain, they'll never get back to their apartment.
Exactly, they all turn the elevators off.
Yeah. And all of LA.
They were complaining all night.
Were they?
Yeah. Well, some people, there was 2 people in the building complaining, but I felt like there was a lot more love coming our way. I still bump into people like, was that you guys doing that like live jazz? I was on my balcony like getting a free live jazz show.
Mike's just standing back there. It's like, say something nice. Just in the shadow, just like sitting in the corner of the elevator. Be nice to those boys. So why don't you tell the people out here a little bit about yourselves and the food organization that you participate in?
That's a good way to put it. It's kind of an idea that was born out of a new version of sushi, a new version of receiving like premium quality fish. The Japanese in the classic format of Japanese sushi is always like with white rice and fairly high in the glycemic index. I know that sounds suddenly very technical, but I'll jump there because that was the inspiration. I was a former runner, professional runner, ran at Stanford, ran the Olympic Games, and treated my diet really seriously. Mm-hmm. And so as I dove into like my favorite type of food, sushi, I was like, wow, how can I make this a little bit higher quality in terms of performance food? Because most performance food for runners is like pasta and carbo loading, and was kind of like untrue in terms of its performance value.
Sounds like my regimen.
And so
it's my performance value. For sure.
Yes. Wait, so I'm a runner, right? Oh, okay. It makes so much sense now.
So basically, like farm to table vegetables and like the best, quality like bites you can get. And suddenly, I was threw a little party at my loft in downtown LA about 20 months ago, and a lot of people came and participated, and they told their friends, and now we're approaching 4,000 people in 5 cities, and really having a great time pushing this sort of passion project that I have an awesome team, and I couldn't be more grateful. It's been really fun.
Where did you pick up the knife skills?
Well, knife skills are a little bit like overrated in terms of their value, I think. I mean, you could use the butt end of a knife. As long as you have premium grade sushi, I don't care if we mash it up and throw it on a spoon. It's going to be a rad bite of fish. Like, it doesn't really matter. I mean, at this point, I've put enough hours in to, be okay at it. But I'm no, like, Hanasubaki or whatever that means. I'm no, like, Japanese.
Obviously you're not.
Yeah.
For any of you who don't know who that is.
I don't even know who that is.
Everyone just here starting like, oh yeah, that guy. They did the band thing. Oh yeah, I've heard of him.
No, we agree. We totally agree.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah,
but I saw him before he got big.
It's basically
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, maybe.
And my right hand man Eric has been holding down the fort and he's definitely the fire behind a lot of it. So
it's just a party that we would want to go to. Live music, the best food, put it on a rooftop, invite the coolest people around. and do it every night.
Only the coolest
Only the
people.
coolest. We don't decide. They decide.
Speaking
We
of
don't
music,
decide.
you guys brought the Scott Colberg trio with you today. How did you guys meet up, or how did you guys start working together?
I actually met Scott a few weeks ago. I walked out and he was lying on my couch at 7 a.m.
Naturally.
He was on tour on the West Coast, and then after chatting for a few days, I was coming to New York to do these parties last month, and he had this band. And I was like, "Do you guys want to play?" He was like, "Yeah, sure."
Sure.
And I also needed a place to live, so I was like, "Can I live in your house?" He's like, "Yeah, sure."
Do you want?
Been with us since? Yeah.
Do you guys want to play us a tune?
Yeah, we'll play a number.
Yeah, you want to play us a number? Okay. What's this called?
This is a song of mine called Banana Boat.
Okay. Live on Snacky Tunes.
Rad.
Really
Sunday
nice.
jazz.
Sunday jazz.
Some of that yaz coming at you.
It's so nice. It's like the perfect music for this type of weather, with 9 dudes in a shipping container. Just a casual. So one of the things that's really amazing is we talk about the spaces and the space that you guys for. Can you talk about the space for your Tuesday event, or is it a secret?
No, it's not. Well, yeah, probably shouldn't talk. Wait, are people like? How does this aired? It's a 5-story building in the middle of Soho with a pool with a window on it. It's an incredible space.
Yeah, it's my weekend house. So.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for letting us borrow
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
appreciate the break on the rental.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, only for 10% off. What are friends for?
Yeah.
But I mean, the space comes to define your events almost as much as the food does. So how do you guys find these locations? And you said that you were looking for a venue today.
Yeah, we never have like an absolute certainty about where we're going to do these. That's just the nature of what we do. So yeah, I think we found a pretty cool spot today.
Can we talk about it?
No.
I mean, when you say absolute certainty, are we talking like a month out? We kind of looking to it, or we're like 2 days out?
2 hours out sometimes.
I mean, I could never do that.
I've woken up, 40 people coming to dinner and lost the venue. And been like, we don't know what to do. I'm sitting at a coffee shop, meet the person right next to me. She's like, I'm having a dance party. I was like, sick. You want to also put together a dinner party with your dance party? She's like, okay. Turned out being 100-person dinner dance party until like 6 in the morning.
It was awesome.
So we get lucky. I don't know. He was constantly on the ground, raging, just like, yay.
What you don't say is that we asked 50 people before, and they just told us to get the fuck out of here, get lost.
Yeah, I think we can probably plug in Webster Hall. They've been really cool. What this is people come to our dinners through word of mouth, and then they ask us how they can help usually, and lots of times it's a mutually beneficial exercise. Like Webster Hall wants us to kind of bring in some 50 or 60 interesting, coolest people in the world moment, and we just put up we went and saw it today. It looks really awesome, and we're going to probably do it there.
That's great. Where in Webster? There's a bunch of spaces.
Probably. It just kept unfolding.
Yeah,
He's like, I have another one.
I think we're going to do like the secret back, top floor room on the side, that little side room.
That's right. It's a great room.
Yeah,
I've actually been to like some events up there. It's awesome.
And the live music, we think that you guys are going to look great on that stage.
Yeah,
too.
that
There's
stage
like a really well lit stage back there. Yeah. So we'll probably put ourselves right out in front of that. But we might do it elsewhere on another night. Just random spots, office lofts, industrial spaces. Like as long as we can make the room intimate enough with lighting, we can work out in a cool dinner in a 10,000 square foot open space. As long as we can kind of like have a little sink to do some dishes and keep that flowing. And
is it propane, like portable burners, or is it mostly just like ceviche, like sushi?
No, this is like. So think of Nobu without the rice and without like any Japanese-isms. Just a bunch of jazz playing in the background.
Right. Jazz and sushi?
Jazz and it's mostly sashimi. So we consider ourselves more like food artists and social artists. We're not trained chefs. We just kind of know how to put together really well-sourced ingredients. So 10, 12 course, like we're talking yellowtail, bluefin tuna. I'm sourcing all my fish from non-Japanese sources too because of that whole scene. So the Fukushima thing. So there's a lot of like really awesome people I've met in that space. To put on dinner for a few thousand people over the past like couple of years, we've gotten into really awesome sources of our fish. So it's the best fish in New York. There's no doubt about it. At our party, I can say that with absolute confidence.
Shout out one of your sources if you feel free sharing.
Yeah, that's a little tricky. I think I'll say that a lot of it is local. Local coast, line caught, bled on the right on the boat. Mm-hmm. There's a dude CP Lee who's my man. I could say that's his name. He's awesome. So
that's what I call him.
yeah, that's his DJ name, CP Lee. We want to give a shout out to him. He's been really awesome. He just really has been a blessing to get to know. And it took us a lot to get there. And we had to go out to Bronx in the middle of the night with.
Yeah, we had no source when we first came for our first tour. Right. Just him and I in a U-Haul van with all these plates and our whole operation in the back. We're like 5 in the morning. No, it's 2 in the morning. We just finished a party. We're like flying over speed bumps. All the plates are flying in the air, like, trying to get to the fish market.
It was definitely a Chevy Chase moment. We were looking at each other going, what are we getting ourselves into? And we had to pull into this massive, new Fulton fish market and ask around for premium bluefin tuna, which wasn't even really available at that store. It's just a different coast. It's a different thing. Here it's a little more fish and chips and kind of that side of things, and cooked fish. And the way they manage fish is just different versus, the Japanese and have a whole infrastructure on the West Coast from Seattle to San Francisco to LA. It's a little bit different out there. So it took us some time, but we were able to we went there every single night for 10 straight days, and by the 10th day they knew we weren't going away until we got behind the guy. And now
it just kept unfolding too. Remember
Yeah.
Bob?
Yeah, Bob was awesome.
Super old Bob.
These don't sound like
I
real
was
names,
I was
but-
a boxer. He was
Yeah.
so cool, man.
Yeah.
Just telling us stories. Of
Bob was in
40 years ago
Vietnam.
fighting underground. Like,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
he sells fish.
Now he sells
he's been at the
massive.
fish market for, his whole life.
Yeah.
But he used to fight, and so we would go hang out just for like 6 hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we come out of there and it's like light outside, and we go in at 2 in the morning. It's
Why don't we get another song from the trio? What are you guys gonna play?
We're doing a lot of different things. That
Yeah.
was the last song was a song of mine. This time we're gonna play a Stephen Foster song.
Great.
Who's an old American composer. This is probably like composed in the 1850s or something. Called Jeannie with the Light Brown Hair.
sweet.
Gotta let that last vibraphone tone.
Gotta tone it out.
You gotta tone it out. Matt, call it.
The last time I heard that song was Eugene Levy performing it in Waiting for Guffman. Am I right?
Yes. Well done,
As
Matt.
part of his as part of his application for this.
I totally forgot about
We got
that.
some
The
good
musical.
ears in this
With-
shipping container.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a diverse background from like a wide range of influences. That song was written 1850.
Yeah.
I mean, but it has
Something.
been used like I feel like I saw that in like a early like Warner Brothers cartoon, like a Roger Rabbit type vibe.
Yeah, it's
Some
just
shit.
like American songbook, like traditional.
I wonder like what the requirements are to get into like the American traditional like. Does it? I mean, and could you get into it? I guess you couldn't get into it now.
To have learned an instrument in the 19th century.
Yeah. Actually, if you just wrote a song in the 1850s, you were in. Like the bar was super low, and then it just kind of got a little bit harder.
Yeah, it was chopsticks and then that song.
Yeah. Are any of these events that you guys are doing tonight open to anybody listening, or how do people get to attend these events?
It's strictly word of mouth. I mean, I suppose yes, they are available. Where there are seats, there's probably 10 or 12 seats available on Valentine's Day. We kind of are able to fluctuate. You know, if 30 people sign up, then we buy enough fish for 30 people. If 60 or 70 or 80 sign up, then we just kind of ramp up a little bit and make sure everyone has enough food to go around and make sure the venue can accommodate. But usually it's cool. But yeah, we have some seats available. There's a little email that people can respond to. It's sushibellytower@gmail.com and find out more information on the events.
That's so great. And then what other cities are you guys hitting up this year?
We've had all sorts of funny requests. We'll probably try to get across the ocean and hit London and do a bit of a European tour, maybe Spain, and do some stuff over there. But and most immediately, Seattle, San Francisco, back to San Francisco, where we always have great support. Chicago, definitely. There's a huge food scene
Let it
there.
thaw out a little bit, though.
Well, I think that's one way of doing it. Like, we would enjoy it probably more if it was a little warmer, but I think they would probably enjoy it because we bring a little bit of heat to the table, you know, a little different experience right now. Yeah. But yeah, back to Miami, we're going to do some stuff down there as well. And of course, we're going to, New York is a staple for us. People in New York tend to get what we're all about, like, the second they walk in the room. Sometimes other environments, other cities take a little long, just, I don't know what it is about New York, but it's been all love since the first time we threw a gig.
Unless you're going to the fish market, then it takes about 10 days.
That's true. Yeah,
we had to earn it.
Yeah, they definitely don't hand it to you.
No, I mean, but once
that's why it tastes so good.
Yeah. I think this, you have to fight this city to exist in it. I think.
I believe you can if you can make it here.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
It's up. No.
It's a lot more sprinting through the streets.
Yeah.
Than
Well, I mean, we're all runners here based on our
Yeah.
diets, right? Pizza's a runner's diet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. That pizza was great.
All right. Well, if you go, how do people find you, follow you, get a hold of you?
So our Instagram is Upstream Foods, just like it sounds. Swimming upstream to get premium ingredients, and our hashtag is Sushi Belly Tower.
And then again, it's sushibellytower@gmail.com to reserve some seats, or just hit us up and see what nights we're available.
Matt, how can people find you?
Big news everywhere on social media,
across all media.
all platforms.
All platforms, and don't forget if you are around. School night starts in 30 minutes.
Well, school night doors open in 30 minutes. The band start at 8.
So. No, you need to get there at doors. What happens if it fills up and you miss it?
Yeah, we ask you to go over to output.
Oh, okay.
Is that punishment?
No, I think it's actually it's very cool.
And then, Scott, how do people get a hold of you?
Visit my website, scottcolberg.com, and there's a contact email.
And if you search Reverb, I think, what was the website, the Everlong?
It's hidden somewhere on the internet.
Just email Scott; he'll send it to you if you want that.
But the opening track, just to give credit where credit's due, is Chad Lefkowitz-Brown on saxophone and Joe Hertenstein playing drums and Javi Santiago playing piano on that song. And here live with me in the studio is Chaim Peskov on drums and Jean-Louis Trebu on vibraphones, and my name's Scott Colberg.
I like to give credit where credit's due. Very classy.
Yeah.
And then don't forget we have our Bar Food Blowout on Tuesday night at Pork Slope. If you go to Snacky Tunes on Twitter, there's a link where you can buy tickets, or you can just show up. Doors are at 7:30. We'll be there with Jeepney Maharlika. Radical Dads will be DJing.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Love those guys.
You can hear their show and all shows podcasted. Just search Snacky Tunes on iTunes. And thanks to Andrew and Aaron.
Packed show.
Really big show.
Really big show. Actually, it is the 50th anniversary of Beatlemania, so...
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've heard of them. They're almost as big as Moses Sumney. Not quite. All right, Scott. Well, you guys want to...
Let's take us out.
Yeah, take us out.
Sure thing.
Thanks for listening.
What's the name of the last song of a jazz set? Is there Like the closer?
The closing number.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. What was that? One more piece of information.
Yeah, just one more thing. If you guys want to hear Scott Colberg live, they're going to be playing at Sushi Belly Tower.
That's right.
Underground on Valentine's Day
with smooth jazz.
Yeah.
Coming at you live.
Yeah, coming at
Buy
you
your
live.
tickets now.
Well, thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you
No,
guys
we'll not.
for
We'll be in
having
LA
us.
next week. Yeah. But the following week. Yes, following week. All right. Take us out, Scott.
Thanks for listening to this program on heritageradionetwork.org. You can find all of our archived programs on our website or as podcasts in the iTunes Store by searching Heritage Radio Network. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at heritage_radio. You can email us questions at any time at info@heritageradionetwork.org. Heritage Radio Network is a non-profit organization. To donate and become a member, visit our website today. Thanks for listening.